Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back with technically episode 5 round 4 of our F1 22 Haas Road to Glory. Yes, of course, if you missed out yesterday's video where we jumped into the first half of the Imola sprint weekend, definitely recommend going back and checking it out because I think if we get into this today, you're going to be very confused otherwise. Absolute insane scenes there. 14 cars got disqualified from the sprint race there, so the grid is basically a reverse grid race here at Imola. We've got changeable conditions as well, and I think things are just going to be absolute carnage today. So yeah, definitely would recommend going back and checking that one out. Of course, championship-wise at the moment, we are currently up in P5 there, tied with Sergio Perez after a really good run of form in the early races of the campaign. I mean, with Perez, both Ferraris and Verstappen all starting right down the order, who knows where we could be in this title after this weekend. But yeah, thank you all as well for all the insane support so far on F1 22. You know, it has been absolutely mind-blowing. If you're new around here and you're not already, please do make sure you get yourself subscribed as well for daily F1 22 content. But yeah, the Miami feature... Oh, sorry, not Miami. Imola, even. Feature race or Grand Prix today. 32 laps ahead of us. I think we better just get into it. And I think today the key is to expect the unexpected. This channel is proudly sponsored by Bybit, the official crypto partner of Red Bull's Formula 1 team. I've been using their platform for my personal crypto savings over the last few months, and when they got in touch to support the channel, I was super excited. Currently, they're offering you guys a special new promo for the first 100 of you to deposit $10 or more onto the platform. You'll get another $10 free. Also, 5 lucky winners will get their initial deposit doubled up to $1,000. That means if you deposited $1,000 onto the platform using my codes below, you could be within a chance to get another $1,000 completely free. We've seen the landscape around crypto drastically change over the last couple of years, and I genuinely believe it holds an important place in our future. However, please be careful as always when trading, as you are liable to lose money. But if you're interested and you're 18 or older, click the link down below to get started and see why Red Bull and myself, as well as thousands of others, trust Bybit as their crypto.
Welcome once again to the Autodromo Internazionale Enzo e Dino Ferrari. The clue's in the name. This is very much Ferrari home turf, and the locals will be out in force today to support their team in what we hope will be a magnificent spectacle of motorsport. On then to the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. One lap of Imola, anti-clockwise of course, unlike most Formula 1 circuits, will take our drivers around 3.1 miles of track, 19 turns, 9 right-handers and 10 to the left. Drivers will need to be precise at the hairpin at turn 7, given the subsequent uphill section. Without a good exit from that corner, they'll lose a lot of time on that stretch. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position. And starting alongside in P2 is Sebastian Vettel. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Mr. Monaco, Albon, Guan Yu Zhou, and Latifi, Stroll, Tsunoda, Norris, and Daniel Ricciardo, Sainz, Perez, Fernando Alonso, and Russell, Verstappen, Leclerc, Pierre Gasly, and Lewis Hamilton. They've taken a grid penalty. Ocon and Mick Schumacher. With preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. It's race day yet again, and joining me for a chat is Anthony Davidson. And our racers are certainly in for a rough day today. What will you be watching out for as they head into turn 1?
Well, the start of the race is always one of the most nerve-wracking parts. You have to hope that everyone is able to get off to a clean start, and this is possibly the trickiest part of the entire race. So many drivers in such a small space, and finding your braking point into turn 1 as well. It's a testament to the driver's skill that there aren't more incidents.
Okay, now that we've got some good points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
I'll be honest, starting here at Imola, I have got exactly no idea what to expect. Looks like we're going to see rain later on in the afternoon. I did wonder whether it would start or finish as quite a damp venue here. But my game plan today is try to get past Bottas and Seb as quickly as possible, because if this season so far is anything to go by, we've got a slightly faster race car. and then run like crazy as the likes of Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz, and Sergio Perez try to sneak their way through the order. I genuinely mean it today. A race victory could be on the table. I said as a joke last time around at Albert Park, we came 7th in Bahrain, 5th in Saudi, 3rd at Australia. The win was surely on today, and somehow it might just be doable. Don't want to get ahead of ourselves though. We've got 32 laps around the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix circuit this weekend, and let's get right into it then. Of course, formation lap as always. First of all, we need a good start here today, starting up in P3, as don't want to get stuck behind Williams early on. Around in the final corner then, desperately trying to build up heat into the tyres. Like I said, you know, I say it every video, but if ever there was a race we wanted to try and get a good start, surely starting on the second row of the grid with Bottas and Sebastian Vettel in front of me. What year is this? These two at the front of the field, they're going to really angle my car very, very aggressively over towards the right-hand side, as we're going to get a nice green score. I mean, that probably wouldn't be legal in real-life Formula 1 there, but we can do it on the game, therefore we're absolutely going to. We've got to take every chance we possibly can here at the start of the Imola Grand Prix here. Anything can happen in this race. It certainly did yesterday, so fingers crossed we can keep it clean and tidy off the start. Waiting on those 5 red lights, and it is going to be lights out, and away we go. And Alex Albon immediately rocketing off as we head down towards turn 1. There's Zhou Guanyu as well, getting a nice tidy start. He's going to try and slot in front of me. There is Albon trying to get up into P2 there at the start of the Grand Prix. We're going to try and keep it up the inside of the Alfa Romeo. There's Seb and Alex there. Aston Martin and Williams battling for the podium places. Never would have thought we'd say that this early on F1 22. But Albon, yeah, does get past me off the start there. It's just got to be super careful early on with the cold rubber. Bottas still leads the way though. He's controlled this start. You know, been in that position many times before in his Formula 1 career. I'm sure not as many as he would have liked, but absolutely still a good start from Valtteri Bottas as his teammate Zhou Guanyu tried to sling it up the inside there at the top of the hill. We say absolutely not. They're running a little bit wide through the corner, but that was just to try and avoid the contact with the Alfa Romeo. But we know early on in races we struggle, especially in this Haas car. It does not fire up its tyres well, so we have got to be careful here early on at Imola. There is almost running very deep in through the Variante Alta. But yeah, Bottas therefore leads the way at the end of that one here, ahead of Sebastian Vettel and Alex Albon, as Zhou Guanyu going to try and get a run on me down the hill in through the final couple of turns. But we've definitely still got a very fast race car today, and I don't know where the likes of Charles and obviously both Red Bulls and both Ferraris there. So still P3 then at the end of lap 1. Sorry, P4 even. I completely forgot about Albon there. But we've just got to get our head down and focus today, and fingers crossed try and pick off these cars. Like I said, the goal, get into the lead and run away. Over the back of Albon then at just the end of lap 2 here, and can we use the Haas very strong straight line speed to try and make a move? Fastest lap of the day, so we are definitely still the fastest of the front runners. Then now we've got these tyres working to the outside of Alex Albon as we head back down towards turn 1. Oh, the Williams that just tries to squeeze me out, but we hang firm on the inside there for turn 2. It's going to be a drag race as we head up towards the Gilles Villeneuve chicane there, still side by side with Alex Albon in through the next couple of corners there, and now up back into where we started in this Grand Prix. There we've got a small train of cars just behind, as I think Charles Leclerc now, no, is that, yeah, is it Charles? I can't remember whether it's Charles or Sainz there, now ahead of that huge gaggle of cars. I'm sure we're going to find out quite soon, because it won't be long before he's all over my gearbox. Bottas and Seb, they're running away at the start. They know if they want to win this race what they have to do as well. Oh, we've got yellow flags out. Someone's in the gravel as I almost join them there. Oh, that's the Ferrari! So I think it was Charles Leclerc then, who's into the gravel trap down at the first chicane there, and what a disastrous weekend it's been so far, and it just gets even worse. Because of course this weekend, one of Alfa Romeo's home races as well there, so Bottas, I'm sure, would love to try and bring his new team their first win, since really, if you trace it back, would have been obviously when they, oh excuse me, would have been BMW back in 2008 there. Of course, Robert Kubica claiming Sauber's only ever Formula 1 race victory up to this point. But we're just slowly up in the pace here now with the DRS range of Sebastian Vettel, trying to manage the battery early on, and of course there's still a long way to go. And we've got to remember the weather will turn later on potentially. Sainz now, new fast lap of the Grand Prix.
Fastest man on track right now, he's just posted the quickest lap of the race.
So I think therefore, those Ferraris, I did have them the wrong way around. Charles Leclerc still in the mix. And yes, Sainz was the one, that started higher up the order, as now, hopefully we're going to be in range of Seb. over the next couple of laps we can try and make a move. I'm sure, yeah, Sebastian Vettel would love to try and get a win here, you know, especially on Ferrari home turf. Show them what they're missing out on now. But we should be close to the Aston Martin as we head out the final corner. And I mean, it's so fun to drive a car with some actual top-end speed in comparison to the My Team car. They're to the outside of Sebastian Vettel as we head back down towards turn 1. They're just going to be ahead by the time we get to the corner. Give him the room on the inside there. And now, looks like Seb lost a little bit of time there as we head through the first couple of turns as we get a bit of a wobble on. With just one man separating us from the race lead, and it's Valtteri Bottas. Both of us, of course, Ferrari-powered cars. So if Ferrari don't win this, who would they want out of us two? Oh, we've got yellow flags out. Down at the end of Sector 2 there. I think someone's going slowly. I think it's an Alpine. Don't say Esteban Ocon's going to retire from 2 races. Yes, he is. Ocon out once more here at Imola. Had a mechanical failure yesterday. And what is going on down at Alpine? As the gap between Bottas and I now down to 2 seconds. We are really now starting to get into the groove. Remember how much you can lean on each of the curbs, everything like that. As what are we saying about the weather?
Stable at the moment. No rain currently expected. Okay,
no rain expected.
Like
Really, Mark? The dry seemed like the best tyre. It's reassuring. But yeah, gap, like I said, down to Bottas is going the right way again now after he was very strong early on. We've just settling down into a rhythm as Zhou Guanyu in the other Alfa Romeo is feisty today as well. He's looking quick.
Okay,
oh, we got a safety car.
Multiple cars being stopped on track. Mind your delta.
No idea what's going on. I think there's a Red Bull potentially pulling over. No, they all keep going. Got a new strat on the MFD. I don't think it's worth boxing though. We may as well stay out for now. Keep hold of track position here. Fingers crossed, yeah, later on down the race.
Right, drop your speed. Our delta's too low and we're going to risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
Oh, I know what to do. But yeah, I don't think it's worth pitting now. Is Bottas going to box? Yes, he is. So we are therefore going to inherit the lead of this Grand Prix. For the first time ever, leading the way under a safety car restart. And everyone around me actually diving into the pit lane. So have I done something a bit stupid here? Are they able to take hards to the end? Surely not. Here at Imola, yeah, they're all going on to softs then, so they're going to be quicker than me for a few laps. But we've just got to try and park the bus and defend the places. So there we go then. We currently now lead the way here in Imola, and you can see Alonso and Gasly both haven't opted to box either. Charles Leclerc in 11th place there. He's still the best threat out of those faster cars. Russell in 14th ahead of Perez, Sainz, Norris, Hamilton and Verstappen. Verstappen is currently last in this Grand Prix, but of course, yeah, now we've got a couple of cars to buffer us to Bottas and Zhou Guanyu behind. We're still going to try and take these tires to about lap 16 now, of course, with a couple of laps under safety car, and hopefully pit around the same time as the Alfa Romeo. Fingers crossed we'll still be ahead of them. But yeah, the faster cars just can't seem to get through here at Imola. We saw in real life just how difficult it is to overtake around this track, especially if they get stuck in DRS strains. There might be nothing they can do. We've just got to keep it focused and get ready to go racing again. Right, we're about to go green flag racing once again then. Well, there we go. Rain predicted now in about 10 minutes time here as the track not looking overcast just yet. But first time on F122 then, we're going to lead the way. After a safety car restart, got to make sure we keep Alonso at bay. And we are going to go about now. What a big kick of wheel spin as we head out the final corner. Luckily, we still get the power down ahead of Fernando there. And as we head back down towards turn 1, the Alpine and the AlphaTauri there, Pierre Gasly, still behind us. But now, no temperature in the rubber as we head all over the sausage curve through turn 1. Now, of course, we've got to think, what do we do about the weather? Is it going to get wet enough, quick enough, that we can try and go from here to Inters? Or are we just going to have to follow strategy still? It's tricky guesses here at Imola. So now we've got Daniel Ricciardo out of the Grand Prix. No idea what's happened to the Australian. Looks like yet another Mercedes power unit failure. How many of those are we going to see early on this game? Oh no, Pierre Gasly dropping back behind Valtteri Bottas. I think these medium tyres, obviously, as you'd expect, older, harder tyres. Oh, we got more yellow flags out, though. Someone's got issues. I think it's just the fact we closed up to Daniel Ricciardo there. As you can see, the stricken McLaren over on the right-hand side. But Alonso, he's not letting me get away at the moment. As now Bottas, I'm sure, will be able to apply pressure again. We've got to hope the Haas straight-line speed comes in clutch. As, yeah, Gasly is just going backwards at the moment. He's now behind Zhou Guanyu and his teammate. Getting a little bit worried here that we're going to see Alonso box into the pit lane and then we're not going to have much to defend ourselves with from Valtteri Bottas. And as soon as I say that, Fernando dives into the pit lane here as we start lap 15. I want to take these tyres to, yeah, sort of like 17, 18, I think, because the tyre wear's been a bit better this weekend than I thought. But it is just a case of how far will those Alfa Romeos be go, and what sort of overcut will they get because of it. I really don't want to feel like we've thrown this race away early on through strategy, but I'm just getting a little bit anxious. Ooh, Zhou Guanyu back into the pit lane there. Surely that's a bit early to be coming straight back off this set of softs. I mean, we did learn in the sprint race we did in the My Team career mode that they don't last very long round here. So if we can just keep Bottas at bay for a couple more laps, maybe we have still got a fighting chance, but that seems uncharacteristically early here to be a valid sort of normal strategy call. So are we going to see anyone else then into the pits? Yeah, Bottas in then at the end of lap 16, so it wasn't an early stop then from Zhou Guanyu, it's just how far the AI willing to take those tyres. Rain's still 10 to 15 minutes away there as Mick back in for the second stop of the day. Sebastian Vettel back up into P2 here, but now of course we can box safely onto that set of hards because that's what Bottas is doing as Charles Leclerc, new fastest lap of the afternoon. Yeah, we can box now and not worried about getting overcut by everyone. That's really helpful. I guess the only other thing we should really be worried at the moment is the fact Bottas has got the jump on Fernando Alonso. So as we head down in towards the final couple of corners, we are going to box now. Got to make sure we get a nice, clean, tidy stop team. We cannot have an issue on this stop there as we get the car slowed down nicely into the pit lane here. Is Sebastian Vettel going to follow me in? I think there's a few issues on the HUD because apparently there's a lot of cars way out of position there. They can't be a lap down, surely, in this Grand Prix. Only a good pit lane there. Are they a lap down? Surely not. 2.9 second stop wasn't brilliant. I think the game might be a bit confused where all those cars are. Surely they didn't go a lap down under the safety car and I never noticed. As heading back out of the pit lane we go. Of course, cold rubber. Oh, there's Bottas as we head back out of the pit lane though. We're going to be ahead by the time we get down to turn 1, but just tiptoe our way through this first chicane. Try and put the power back down now. As we've got yellow flags. Bottas has gone round. Alonso now trying to apply the pressure as we head down in towards the Gilles Villeneuve chicane there, and just going to sit on the apex once more there. And El Plan trying to have a look again around the outside there as we've got an Aston Martin now round down at the first chicane there. Please don't say that's Valtteri Bottas as we're going to do our best Montoya impression on Fernando as we head back up the hill there. I'm sure the Spaniard not going to be happy with that when he tries to have a look to the inside there again. We cover off the inside and Alonso still wanted to go for it. And now Zhou Guanyu up into the podium places here in Imola, but I'm still not sure what's going on with all those other cars. So there we go, the McLaren and the Mercedes into the pits at the end of lap 18 there. And I just had a look on the MFD. They are genuinely a lap down in this Grand Prix. I don't know how. Look at that, Zhou Guanyu now makes a power move around the outside of Alonso. He's going to try and get to the outside of me by the time we get back into turn 1 there. I'm very, very aggressive with the defending there. Just wanted Zhou Guanyu to lift out before we got into the braking zone, and now Alonso back into P2. As he had blue flags out then. What has happened in this Grand Prix there? I think the game very, very confused here in Imola. But, I mean, we're not complaining at the moment because we're still somehow in the lead with Fernando Alonso breathing down the neck. To the inside we go as we head up the hill there. Every time Fernando, I think, is using a bit more battery. And every time now we'll just have to cover him off through the corner. We could genuinely still win this race. I know I've said it a lot today, but I never thought we'd be this far in with still this good a shot. I mean, we have got slightly fresher rubber than Fernando Alonso to see us right the way through. Fingers crossed to the checkered flag, as the track is definitely getting a little bit more gloomy. But El Plan is definitely still applying the pressure. They had a horrible weekend out at Albert Park. Here's Fernando Alonso and co, the only man to end up a lap down. I'm sure he'd love to rebound here with a race victory, and of course this would be Fernando's first win in nearly 10 years in Formula 1. So it's been a long time waiting for the elder statesman now, but still, we live to fight. 11 laps to go then, and teams saying the rain now isn't that far away, as we've just got to make sure we've got about 6/10 on Fernando every time when we cross the start-finish line there. That Alpine isn't gaining as much as I was expecting him to down the front straight, but he definitely looms closer in our mirrors when we get back to turn 1 every time through. Oh, I saw a flash. The rain is here then late on in Imola. How bad is it going to get and how quickly now is the question, and will Fernando Alonso and I I mean, it's us up against the most experienced driver on the grid. If ever you had your money on a man to do well in changeable conditions right now, I think it would be on a Fernando here, as we need to still just stay firm, hang on to the lead for now there, as the Alpine, you can just see already then immediately trying to apply the pressure. We cannot have any mistakes in the second half of this Grand Prix. We have to hang on here. 8.5 laps to go from Imola. We've done so well so far, but it could all still go badly wrong. Oh, there we go. Valtteri Bottas into the pit lane. Surely it's far too early. We're going on to a set of intermediates there, as you can just see that proximity arrow of Fernando Alonso gets closer and closer there, and a little bit of a mistake through the Gilles Villeneuve chicane. Alonso trying to look around the outside there, but we'll put pay to that one off the corner there. Do get fully in front of him before we slam the door. And Alonso, he still wants this win. Who wants it more? That's the real question at the moment. I still want to say I do, but you mean this is Fernando Alonso we're talking about. Zhou Guanyu in P3, if things went pear-shaped, could be on for his first ever F1 victory in what would be a shock twist. So here comes Fernando back down towards Star 1. First time he's been able to get a run down here in quite a while. We're just going to use a bit of battery there and make sure he's on the outside when we get into the braking zone. Alonso late on the brakes. They're all a little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact. We both brake incredibly late down at turn 1, but it bides me a couple more tenths there as Alonso recovers and picks it all back up there. Very, very aggressive with my defending, but can you blame me at this stage of the afternoon? Also, rain just meant to be getting worse and worse then over these next few laps, as Fernando Alonso really starting to hang me there a little bit wide down through the penultimate corner. And we need to try and get a good run out of here once more there. Try to get back a bit of fifth gear before we can really apply the power there, as we're going to have to swing over right to the left-hand side of the circuit. Alonso still in the slipstream though, and you can just see how good the top-end speed is in this Haas. But there goes Fernando round the outside back at turn 1, and again super aggressive with the defending there. We have to be absolutely every lap until the end now. 5 laps to go here from Imola. We are doing everything within my power to hang on, but trying to keep it clean still. Oh, Alonso, just a little mistake there. I heard behind me as we head out of the first couple of turns there. There are puddles now starting to form as we repeat it down at the next chicane there. Just showing you guys what Alonso did wrong, is just that little bit of understeer starting to catch us both out in these horrible conditions. There's, yeah, like I said, plenty of puddles starting to form on the circuit, so we're going to have to go defensive up the hill here on Fernando Alonso around the outside. Once again, he looks, and again, we'll just close that door on the exit of the corner here. This is getting really, really tense. Oh, a little bit wide there down at Aqua Minerale. We have to hop over the curbing on the exit. Oh, apologies to Fernando there. Big, big double snap of oversteer as we try to get the car slowed down. Fernando, though, is definitely feeling more confident on those tyres at the moment, because the AI, as tracks get slicker and slicker when you're still on the dry tyres, they just become more and more overpowered there. They've obviously just got that extra sense of where the grip is. It's now Zhou Guanyu into the pit lane with just 4 laps to go. Is he going to be boxing onto a set of intermediate tyres here? Surely the AI are considering it at this stage of the afternoon. And what do we do there? Zhou Guanyu onto intermediates now, so they do think it's time to make the change. These tyres aren't completely gone, but we're struggling more and more each lap. But I'm worried now if we do pit, we're just going to get undercut by the likes of Zhou Guanyu. I want this race victory. I cannot stress that enough there. As all Fernando Alonso behind me really starting to struggle. We've got 3 laps to the end. Surely we can lose less than 10 seconds a lap between now and the end of the Grand Prix there. As Alonso, I'm sure, will box at the end of this one. We have got a mammoth task to just try and hang on, but I'm not going to box in the final few laps of this Grand Prix. It might completely cost me a shot at the win today, but it's going to be the only way I can get a shot at the win, because Zhou Guanyu has already taken the time out that he would have lost on the undercut. As DRS now disabled, so it is definitely time there. It's all a little bit wide there. Hop over the curbs off the exit of the chicane. But 25 seconds now, the gap to Zhou Guanyu. Please, I pray we hang on. As there we go, Alonso into the pits. It is just going to be us into the final couple of laps of this Grand Prix that we're going to try and stay out there. But Zhou Guanyu already, the gap coming down to 22 seconds. This is going to be so critical. Sweat mode is definitely going to be needed here. I still want to believe late on here at Imola. What a crazy weekend this has been. Carnage from start to finish at the moment, as you can just see how far back Fernando's going to be behind the Alfa Romeo. Are we going to get our first win on F1 22, or will it be Zhou Guanyu? Oh, 2 laps to go. The gap to Zhou Guanyu under 10 seconds. I'm not convinced. Track still meant to be getting worse for the next 10 minutes, but the rain doesn't look like it's getting any worse now. At this stage of the day, there is Zhou Guanyu, 2 laps to go.
6.7 seconds.
7 seconds now, the gap. Oh, come on, this is all going pear-shaped late on. I want to believe still. There's still dry grooves on the circuit, as we're going to have a Mercedes fly past me down in towards the next chicane. George Russell a lap down, but only P13. But this is just all falling away right towards the bitter end here, unless I can, by some miracle, hang on.
It might be worth considering changing yours too.
So here goes Zhou Guanyu into the lead of his first ever Formula 1 race there, as the other Mercedes Hamilton chucks it up the inside there, and China might just be seeing their very first Formula 1 race victory here. I cannot believe this is all going away from us right towards the very end. We've done so well for so long here in Imola, but we've just were at the wrong place at the wrong time there. As now, look at this, Fernando Alonso. He only boxed a couple of laps ago. He's going to fly past me as well. As how many more places are we going to drop in the final lap here at Imola? I cannot believe it. The first win for Haas. And it's not going to go. It's going to go to China and Alfa Romeo there. Zhou Guanyu is about to make history as long as he can hang on for one more lap.
Okay, we've got 4 laps of fuel remaining.
Just trying to get the car slowed down into the corners at the moment. I mean, this is no longer a fight. This is just trying to survive. As starting the last lap then, Alex Albon is going to move up now into P4. Please, we've got to hang on for points here at the very least. As now we've got Lance Stroll having a look past us as we head back down towards Delmont. I cannot believe just how quickly this race has evaporated for me. I mean, there's nothing, absolutely nothing we can do. I think, you know, Tsunoda's 11 seconds back. We might just have enough to try and defend from the AlphaTauri here, as there's someone else all over my gearbox. It's Lando Norris in the McLaren, but everywhere at the moment. We're just losing so much time to the AI. I mean, P6 is hardly a race victory, but it would still be more solid points. There's just a little bit of a half spin there. Luckily, we keep it pointing in the right direction, but it's going to cost us even more as we get caught out over the curbs. There's no grip left on these tyres there. Surely Tsunoda, there we go. Yuki flies past me as well as Max Verstappen, who's again a lap down in this Grand Prix. No idea what's happened to the front runners today. This should have been our chance to capitalise. We took a gamble. We absolutely had to take the gamble if I wanted the race victory here. But now Sebastian Vettel all over my gearbox as well. It's going to be Nicholas Latifi, I think, the next car to try and close up. As there goes Seb one way, there goes Mick the other. And can we just hang on ahead of Nicholas Latifi, I beg, in this Grand Prix? Zhou Guanyu is a Formula 1 race winner here at Imola. I don't think any of us would have predicted that before we jumped into this race there. But Latifi is only 3 seconds away as well. Charles Leclerc's still going to score points here. And I mean, had we won, we would have taken the lead of the Drivers' World Championship today. That's just how quickly F1 can flip on its head. But through the final corner, can we put the power down, try to defend from Latifi? No, we can't. It's only going to be P9.
Are you okay? That was a big one. Confirm you're okay, please.
I don't normally use rewind. We've crossed the finish line, technically. So, I mean, it won't give us P9 because we've spun it there. But I'm claiming P9 in this Grand Prix because we did actually cross the finish line. Latifi's going to get by. So's Perez. That is heartbreaking.
And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
That's it for another Grand Prix and a fantastic win here for Alfa Romeo. So, Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
It's a heroic effort for any driver to race in conditions like these, and seeing them fight their way to the front was very special indeed. They were able to find all the grip, all the good lines, and had the confidence to get on the power to top it all off. That's what pushed them into first place here today.
So here they come now, out onto the podium. It's thrilling to see this team go toe-to-toe with the best in the sport and come out on top. What a superb victory for the Alfa Romeo team. So let's review the updated driver standings. Charles Leclerc, currently leading the championship standings, extends his lead even further with this result. Well, after an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
I'll probably go for Pierre Gasly. The team did a good job with the strategy to put him in amongst the pack, but it's the driver's job to capitalise on those opportunities, and he did so with a lot of skill.
Let's move on to the constructors. Ferrari continue to extend the gap at the top of the table. Meanwhile, good work from Aston Martin this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next.
I cannot believe that right at the end of the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix there, it has all come away from us. Zhou Guanyu, though, a very well-deserved Formula 1 race victory there. We spoke early on about how Bottas might be able to get the win for Alfa Romeo. I don't think any of us predicted it would be Zhou Guanyu that walks away with the dub there. Fernando Alonso at P2 ahead of Pierre Gasly there. So both of those two, I'm sure, very, very happy to be back on the podium. Albon just misses out in 4th place once again. Started 4th, finished 4th. Fantastic weekend by him and Williams. They're ahead of Stroll, Tsunoda, Vettel. Latifi gets points on the board ahead of myself, and Lando Norris finishing 1 lap down there. So I'm guessing there was a bit more carnage, because I've noticed Lando Norris has somehow lost 1 point for fastest laps. I don't quite know how that's worked come the end of the weekend there. So despite finishing a lap down, and in 10th place, he doesn't get a point at the end there when all is said and done. Plenty of cars a lap down. Charles Leclerc with the fastest lap finishes 17th somehow ahead of Hamilton. So F122 has definitely not had a fun weekend trying to work out what's happened here at Imola. But championship-wise, though, Charles Leclerc still leads the way ahead of Max Verstappen and myself. We're up now to 4th place, though, ahead of Perez and Lewis Hamilton there, with Alonso now up into 7th. Zhou Guanyu leapfrogs his way up into 8th place overall, ahead of Gasly there, and Albon up to 10th place. How many drivers have not scored this season? Everyone has scored now. Daniel Ricciardo is last in the Formula 1 World Championship there, and McLaren are going to be last overall in the Constructors. Ferrari lead the way, though, 14 ahead of Red Bull. Alfa Romeo are P3, as there's 4 points separating them, Mercedes, Alpine, and ourselves after a crazy, crazy weekend here from Imola. But I am lost for words at the end of that one. We took a gamble. It didn't pay off. Thank you all, though, so much anyway for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like and get yourself subscribed. And we will return very, very soon. We'll be heading to Miami on Monday. You guys do not want to miss that. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members. So a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below. And yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.